We are processing the top 15 foundational questions from the June 2025 Current Affairs dataset, originally curated by Examverse by Kabir Sir. In high-pressure exams, data stored as a flat list often fails during retrieval. Without structural context, these individual points remain isolated, making them difficult to recall when the questions become more analytical. To improve retention, we convert these facts into a spatial mental model, mapping the dataset across 3 distinct layers. The first is the regional layer. We anchor our focus locally, locking in specific governance and historical data emerging directly from Assam. Next is the national layer, where we track shifts in domestic defense, major infrastructure corridors, and aerospace achievements. Finally, the global layer. This maps international indices and geopolitical events that impact Indian interests from abroad. Mastering this 3-tier architecture is a prerequisite. You need this structural baseline established before you can attempt the high-difficulty analytical questions arriving in Part 2. We begin the mapping process by zooming in on Northeast India. The first significant local variable is the discovery of a Nothopeja fossil right here in Assam. This specimen is 24 million years old. For the geography syllabus, it provides physical evidence of the region's deep prehistoric botanical ecosystem. Moving from geological history to immediate legislative action, we shift our focus to the state's representation in New Delhi. The Election Commission has formally announced the biennial elections for the Rajya Sabha. For the exam, you need the specific quantitative metric. These elections will fill exactly 2 Rajya Sabha seats representing Assam, a 24-million-year-old fossil, and 2 contemporary parliamentary seats. These 2 data points form the historical and political poles of your regional layer. We pull the perspective back to evaluate domestic integration at the national level, starting in the north. June 2025 saw the inauguration of the Udhampur-Baramulla rail link. This project physically integrates the Kashmir Valley with the Indian Plains via rail, removing a major geographic bottleneck for national transport and commerce. Shifting south into the Indian Ocean, we track an update in naval defense. The Navy officially commissioned INS Arnala. You must memorize its specific operational classification. It is India's first anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft, designed for coastal defense operations. We move our mapping from the ocean floor to orbital space. Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla was selected for a spaceflight mission in June 2025. This selection makes him the 2nd Indian citizen to travel into space, following the precedent set by Rakesh Sharma. His participation provides critical data for India's indigenous human spaceflight program as it enters its final testing phases. Kashmir rail integration, shallow water naval defense, and manned spaceflight. These 3 developments form the 2025 pillars of India's strategic autonomy. We expand our map westward from the subcontinent to address developments in the Middle East. Amidst rising regional tensions, the Indian government launched Operation Sindhu to evacuate citizens from Iran. Executing an evacuation of this scale requires maintaining a constant readiness for heavy-lift aerial logistics. Pivoting to Northern Europe, we evaluate global social metrics through the Global Gender Gap Report 2025. Iceland ranked first in the index, establishing the global benchmark for gender parity. Now, we overlay a chronological matrix onto our map to lock in the mandatory observance dates for June. June 5th is World Environment Day, followed by World Blood Donor Day on June 14th. June 21st is International Yoga Day. The national scale of this event is significant, anchored by the Prime Minister's participation in the public sessions. For the exam, remember the official 2025 theme, Yoga for One Earth, One Health. We complete our June timeline on the 29th, designated as National Statistics Day. These dates coincide with a major shift in the physical environment, according to the IMD's monsoon projections. The 2025 data shows a significant anomaly. The monsoon covered India exactly 1 week early. This early arrival impacts agricultural planning and water management models across the country. Whether it is a crisis response in Iran, a social metric from Iceland, or a climate shift over the subcontinent, the global layer requires tracking events far beyond our own borders. You now have a unified mental model of the June 2025 dataset. You have locked in the Assam political and historical facts, the national defense and aerospace milestones, and the broad global layer. There is 1 point left in our 15-question set that sits outside these geographic layers, Neeraj Chopra's victory at the Paris Diamond League. By isolating this sports victory as an anomaly separate from your map, you make the trivia distinct and easier to retrieve during the test. Your factual baseline is now set. You will need these 15 variables to navigate the complex economy, environment, and science and tech analysis coming up in Part 2.